Good evening, guys. I'm very sorry for not. I'm very sorry I wasn't able to do this yesterday. Got really. Um, Never mind. Let's just go on. So I'm going to start with the project, and I'll just be skipping this part. So these are guidelines. I know once we read it, we could okay. Sorry about that. So from this text from Aziza. It says, I'm sure you saw that President Naledi gave us some clear instructions for the report. It often happens that the people we are supporting have changing needs and we have to adapt. We are creating this report to support decision makers by providing them with accurate and understandable data relevant to their decisions. But what do they want? The best way of knowing is by putting yourself in their shoes. If we were the users, how would we want to interact with the dashboard? This is called a user story, which answers the question, are you a user? As a user, I want to and design the report to meet that need. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of one of our users. Imagine you are President Naledi for a moment. As Aziza, I want to see the key points of the survey results so I understand the overall status of water access in Maji Ndogo. So one, see the key points of the survey results so I understand the overall status of water access. Okay. The second one is also to know how many people are affected by water access challenges in Maji Ndogo and what those challenges are. So how many people affected and the challenges. Then know how much money we will need to complete the upgrades and where that money needs to be spent. So how much money and where it's and so how much money will be needed to complete the upgrades and where that money needs to be spent. And then the fourth one is understand this data on the national and provincial level. So understand data on national and provincial level. So if we use this user story as a blueprint to create a page in the report for President Naledi, we can create visuals for each of her concerns. Doing this automatically answers, why do we need this visual question? So next, for each of these user stories, we have to think about what data the user will need to answer that question. So let's apply the what. So for the first one, I want to see the key points of the survey results so I understand the overall status of water access in Maji Ndogo. We should summarize population-related access to water on a national and provincial level. So summarize. So let me make this 1A, summarize population-related access to water on a national and provincial level. And then we should a lot of people in Maji Ndogo live in rural and urban areas, so we should summarize their results and challenges they face separately. So summarize results and challenges they face in rural and urban areas. Then for 2, I want to know how many people are affected by water access challenges in Maji Ndogo and what those challenges are. So for that one too, we need to communicate the number of sources. So number of sources and also the amount of people affected by these sources and amount of people affected by these sources. Then for B, perhaps we should also consider making the less important source like tapping home less visible since we are not upgrading those. So we should make tap in home less visible. So in other words, we should filter tap in home out. Right. Then for 3, I want to know how much money we will need to complete the upgrades and where that money needs to be spent. So this one will need a bit of work from us. There's this financial data in our data model called infrastructure cost, but we will need to do some calculations to include this type of data. So we'll use the infrastructure cost table and then to do some calculation to include this type of data. Right. So President Naledi will need to see this data on the national, provincial, and rural urban level, and even improvement and per improvement type. So how much money? Let me make a budget. Right. So on a national, provincial moments, guys. So rural, urban level, and even per improvement type. Then for 4, is that I want to understand this data on the national level and provincial level. So we have to take this into account and as well as a rural and urban split. So when visualizing our data, we need to consider rural and urban split. Right. So this is for the what. And then for the how, then how will we visualize the data? We may change this as we go, but let's start with a set of visualizations and we'll add more or remove some as we go along. Right. So let me grab this. For the first point, I want to see key points of a survey result so I understand the status of water access in Maji Ndogo. We can split the page into rural versus urban, right? So for one part of the dashboard, we'll split the page into rural and urban, and then show the population of Maji Ndogo. Maji Ndogo and highlight key matrices. So after showing in rural and urban, we will show population of Maji Ndogo, MD, and highlight key matrices. And highlight metrics. Then for point 2, which is how many people are affected and the challenges, here we show the distribution of source type in rural versus urban population. So distribution of source type in rural and urban populations. And then for the second part, a sorted visual of the number of source type. So sorted visual of the number of source types. So we'll be doing this alongside, but I just want us to have an idea of it. So for point 3 on how much money and where it will be spent, we need to show a singular number representing the data nationally and per province. So a single number representing the data nationally and per province. And then for B, we should also break down cost into various ways. So cost breakdown per province for rural and urban, and then for source type. And then for point 4, I want to understand this data on the national. So if we build a report well, we can drill down into different categories. So the categories will be for the provinces in Maji Ndogo. Right. So our second user is a provincial leader. Their user story is, as a leader of the particular province, I want to see data only relevant to my province. I need to understand the state of water access in my province, the scope of work we have to complete, and understand the financial aspects related to the improvement. So for the provincial leader, we need to show the following data. So total number of people served. So total people served for each water source type in a province. And then for second one, the number of water sources, their type, and whether it's rural or urban. Point 3, show relevant statistics for towns in that province. So stats for towns in the province. For point 4, add relevant provincial data. So cues, gender, compositions, and crime, broken down tabs, etc. And then summary of improvements and costs. Summary of improvement and costs. So we are going to build the first page together, and you have the honor of wrapping up the rest of the pages. Let's start at the top with President Nalidi's page. If we look back at the story, we see 3 components. So population water breakdown, what do we need to do, and how much it will cost? So let's split our dashboard into 3 components, but also reserve some spaces for slices somewhere, and reserve some spaces for the big idea results that are linked to the purpose. How much do we need to spend in Maji Ndogo, and what will that money do? So let me move on to our Power BI, and let's create the right. So let me create the view for how we want our dashboard to look like. So I just copied and pasted this. So I would want it to look something like this, right? So we have 3 different columns and then one, row, or maybe a landscape and then portraits view. So this is the landscape, and then this is what I'll be using for the portraits view. So little bit of adjustment here and there. So copy and paste for this part, and then paste. Let me use this for this part. The spaces are quite wide. Let me narrow them a bit. Okay. Got this part. Got this part. And then you can do it how it pleases you, but this is how I want mine to look like, right? So now the next thing we are going to do, we should have these inscriptions on. For I will put the map somewhere here on let me just do it right away. So shape map, I'll put it here. Okay. And then let me just input it. So for shape map, we use province. What's the name? Province name. And then for color saturation, I'll also put it there. Let me customize it. You already know how to do this, right? I'm going to select the map, and then yeah, that is it. So let me do some few settings here. Fill colors. Yeah, they're okay. So and then let me take off background color. Voila. Now for the title, I will name them province. And then let me change the color to white so it pops out. Good. So we have our map for the province here. Okay. Now we are done with province. The next thing is for here we have number of people affected at per source at national and rural, number of improvements, and then what will it cost, and then a high impact summaries, right? So as we go along, we'll be building it up. So now let's go to the what and then the how. So we should summarize population-related access to water on a national and provincial level, right? So access to water on a national and provincial level. So for that one, let's use this. Which one did I use? Clustered bar chart. Okay. Yeah. So population related access to water on a national and provincial level, right? And then summarize the results or challenges. Okay, no. What is the how? So display the page to rural, urban, show population of Maji Ndogo, and highlight key distribution of source type in rural. Let me do the distribution first. So I'll put location type on my y-axis, and then source type, so water source, type of water source on the x-axis, right? Then because I want to split it, I want to see them province by province, or how do you call it? Location type has to actually be in the legend first, because that is how I want it to see. I want to see it, but then I'll put the provinces in the x-axis, in the y-axis, so that we'll be able to see them province by province, and it will be grouped rural and urban, as we can see here. Let me take out the title column out. I mean the title out, so we can have a clearer view. And then yeah, so we are done with the location type, but we have sorted visual of the number of source types, right? So for the number of source types, I'm going to use this same column charts. So I just copied and pasted this. Let me try and adjust it a little bit so you can have a clearer view, right? But for this sorted visual of the number of source types, right? So instead of province, I'll only give source type. So let me take province out, and then put type of water source here, right? For this, let me take this out, and then I'll also take this out. What next? It says sorted, and there's one other thing here that we don't need to miss. We see that Um, it was stated somewhere here. Let me go back to the slide. So, where did I see that? So perhaps we should also consider making less important sources like tapping homes less visible since we are not upgrading those, right? So that one shouldn't really be visible. Okay. Um. Oh, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So Sam, there's one because we want to know the total number of people served per type of water source in rural and urban areas. And then it says it should be sorted. So maybe we can sort it alphabetically for both. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this three dots here, sort axis, and I'm sorting, A to Z, right? So we have R before T, W before S. No, we have R, S before T. And then let me also sort. Okay. So from river to share tap to tapping home, and then well, right? And then for this one too, let me sort it alphabetically. So A to Z, right? So we do the values sorting by province name. Good. So we have Akachi, Amazi, Awaza, Kilimani, and then Sokoto. Let me take this one out and then count off. I just need the spaces there for you to be, a bit clearer. So we are done with these two parts. Let's include our slicer for now. So slicer, I'll put it somewhere here. Let me drag it out a bit. Slicer will be for the province name. Let me change the setting. Make it tiles. So that will be very easy to, navigate through. I don't want it to take a lot of space in here. Let me do one or two things. Take out the province name. I don't need any background color. So go off I need is this color okay? Can I bolden it a bit? Let me see. Okay, not this. Yeah, values. So let me bolden the values a little bit. Good. I think this is a bit visible. And then yeah. So that's okay. Easy. Right. So this I have for what's the name? My provinces. Right. Okay. Good. Bring it somewhere here. Okay. So this is how per what they did. This is how it looked like. I grouped similar things in the boxes and three different boxes tell a story, who we are doing this for, where they are, what will it cost. Okay, so create these new visuals, national split up like you've done mine, create a tile, visuals, blah, blah, blah. So this is what we've done first, and then we've included the slices. We already have our map. So let's do the improvements and then the, you know, this page is for the improvements. So number of improvements in provinces and then pair what they are supposed to do, right? So let's go in here. click out of it. Okay, I'm going to use clustered column charts for the improvements, side. Just it first. Okay, so for improvements over here, we are seeing the number of improvements per province. So I'll put the province name on the x-axis, and then where can I find improvements? I think it will be a project progress. Yeah, and then I'll put the number of improvements on the y-axis, right? So also this, I'll sort alphabetically, so sort A to Z, and then it's not supposed to look like this. Akachi Hamanzi. So province name, number of improvements. So let me change this way and see. No. Okay, for the improvements table. Okay, we'll get back to that one. Let's do for the filters, and then the others that need to be dealt with, right? So let me change the chart, and then I'll take the province name off, and then I put improvement here, and then I also put improvement there again. Let me see how that would look like. No. Okay. Yeah. So for this, there are certain things we need to do, but for now, let me just leave it as it is. Okay. So we've done this part. Now let's move to the next slide and see where we had our challenge. So do you notice that your improvement column chart has more categories than mine? I used a bit of DAX to aggregate all of this, all of the install 1 to 8 tabs values into one called install public tabs, and shorten diagnose local infrastructure too. So do you see the asterisk in install public tabs? It is because the meaning of this category isn't quite the same now that we've aggregated it. What does the value of 3696 for install public tabs mean? You should add a short note explaining it somewhere nearby or use a tooltip. Okay, so this is the DAX that we are going to use to, do this calculation, and we'll do it. He said he added a blank value, so we need to figure out what that one is and then work on that. So let's copy this DAX A. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Do it this way. So let me copy this. Right. So remember, we are in the project progress table, okay? So let's open our table. Go to project progress. And then what we are coming to do now is for anything in here for the improvement one, we are going to create another column where we are going to, sort of summarize them, because over here, when you filter this out, we have install 1 tabs to install 8 tabs. We want to summarize all these tabs or install tabs nearby to, as it says here, install public tabs. So that is what we are going to do. Okay, and this is the DAX function, or the DAX we are going to use to create that. Okay, so what should we call that column? Said aggregate, so we've aggregated it too. So maybe we can call it aggregate, or at it here, aggregated improvement, right? So let's insert a new column. Okay, and we are going to call name it aggregated improvement. Because we copied it, let me just make a little bit of changes in here. So if let me explain it as I go along. Oh. So let me just adjust these ones. I'm only trying to align the ducks that we have here. So just a little one or two, and then we are done. No, yeah. No, it's still no camel, so I don't have to do that yet. I don't go here so tomorrow. Yeah, I still do that this thing I'm talking about. I was finishing. We have what like 7, 17. If we think we're talking about. Right, John. Hey, brother. Sure. Okay. So maybe we can go on. Okay. So now what we are saying, what this is trying to say that if project progress improvement contains the string. Now over here, this is the project progress, there is the improvements column. Now what I'm trying to say is that if it contains a string, which one should we use here? Based on what we are doing, we are working on install public tabs. And in this, column, the only one that we can find that can relate to, this column that we can reference to, really work on the public tabs is the word tabs, because we want to find a string in this column that contains tabs, and wherever it finds tabs, it should, replace in the new column install public tabs, right? And then if project progress on the same improvement column contains diagnose local infrastructure, it should rename it to repair infrastructure. You get a point? Yeah. So that is what we are going to do. Okay. So once I'm done, let me hit enter and see what happens. Good. So here we have it. Okay. One, if I should, filter this out of all that we are saying here, we've been able to summarize them to just these 5 ones. Okay. Maybe for the install tabs, let me only remove this asterisk and then, make it look a bit genuine. So now that we are done with this, let's go back to our dashboard and change this, improvement that we have here and replace it to the aggregated improvement and see what happens. See? So instead of having the initial one that were quite a lot, oh no, I use the same. Yeah, so aggregated improvement here. Okay, wait, let me try and switch it. Let me bring this here. So this is the count, and then let me bring aggregated improvement here. Good. So this is how it's supposed to look like, right? We need to have the aggregated improvement and then based on the account. Okay. This one also, if we don't mind, we can just, sort it out or leave it as it is. Okay. This is something right now. So yeah. So based on where are we? Okay. So based on this visualization, we are supposed to have the values in there for us to easily, read it. So let me do 1 or 2, changes in here. So for the title, let me just take the title off Yeah, no title here. And then for this one, the data labels, let me just toggle it on and then I'll bring all the data labels there, right? For y-axis, let me take out the title on there, and then also for okay, let me undo and do one or two things first. Okay, so y-axis, let me take out the title. Good. And then for x-axis also, I'll take out the title. Yeah. Then over here, I don't need the title on the top, so good. And then let me bring the values for what's the name? The data labels. Good. So we have it as we can see here, right? Now also for the number of improvements. Oh, worry. Okay. So for this one, yeah. So we're using province names and count of number of improvement. So Akachi, Amanzi, Hawaza, Amanzi, Hawaza. Okay, let me do the sorting well. So I have sorted A to Z, but I have to sort by province name. And there we have it. Right. So we have it, alphabetically. I would just remove um, the title for X and Y axis out. So we have it exactly as we are seeing on here. Okay, so we are done with this part, right? Let's move on. We've dealt with this. Now let's start off with the budget. No surprise, these improvements will cost a lot of money. To make sure we are spending it wisely, we will create a budget. The project managers added the infrastructure cost table that has an estimate of what it will cost to make that repair. For each improvement in infrastructure cost, there's a cost of improving a water source in US dollars. For example, to improve one river source, we have to drill a well, which costs $8,500. Our project planners thought through the cost a bit more and realized that rural water sources are much harder to improve than urban ones. So they suggested that we add 50% to the cost of any rural sources improvement budget. So we need to increase the budget improvement cost by 50%, and we'll call that rural adjusted cost. Okay, so create a new column called rural adjusted cost and calculate the increased budget for each of the improvements. We'll start off slow today. So here's the calculation. So let's copy this. So once we copy this, let's go to our Power BI. So where are we going to create this in the improvement, project progress table where we have the improvement. So let me come to our table view, project progress. Not project progress, infrastructure cost, I mean. So over here, we're going to create a new column called rural adjusted cost. Okay. So rural adjusted cost is equal to infrastructure cost multiplied by the unit cost. I mean, unit cost, sorry, multiplied by 1.5. So we have increased it by 50%. And this is how it looks like. Since it's cost, let me just change it to, currency to have the dollar sign there. And yeah, there we have it. Good. So even unit cost, let me do the same thing to it. It's currency, US dollars. Good. So we are done with this part. Next up, budgeted improvements cost. Now that we know the cost of each improvement, let's update the project progress table with a new column that calculates the cost of each improvement based on the type of improvement and whether it is rural or not. So we are going to updates the project progress table with a new column, which calculates the cost of each improvement, as we've seen here, a cost of each improvement based on the type of improvement, right? And then whether it is in a rural or not. So we'll create a DAX formula that looks up the improvements in the project progress table and either fetches the unit cost USD value if the source is in a town, or fetches rural adjusted cost if the source is in the rural area, right? So let's use this DAX function and we'll have to figure out where, the blank values are, right? So we'll do this in the project progress table as we have here. Let's include a new column. Then this is the DAX we will use. Okay. So if hold on, project progress table, right? Now we are going to use the improvement. Should we use the improvement or aggregated improvement? Well, I think we will use the improvement because there we have, based on I've switched tables. But if we look at the infrastructure cost here, the cost we are seeing here, oh, gentlemen, allow me. The cost we are seeing here, we have for the individual, tabs that we are supposed to install, right? But if we should use the aggregated one, we are really not going to get what we want, okay? So for the column that we are going to use, it is the improvement column, okay? So if project progress improvement column, right, is equal to, so the first one we are dealing with is let's go back here. If project progress table, it's either fetches, is we are going to look at the improvements in the project progress table and either fetches unit cost if the source is a town, or rural adjusted cost if a source is a rural area. So if a source is a town, it should fetch from the what's the name, improvement cost, and bring the USD value, this. But then if it is a rural area, we use the rural adjusted cost. Okay, so excuse me, guys. Sorry. Right. So if what was I? If project progress, the column that we are going to use here, improvement, is equal to, okay, no, wait, let me go back. So if project progress table either, so it should fetch unit cost if it's town and if it's rural, right? Then if that's the case, then meaning we are going to use the town column because that is where we have the rural or urban, right? Let's try filter it out and see. Let me see. So for town, we have, okay, so rural is identified as rural, and then town is identified as what's the name? Okay, so rural stands out here. So I think it makes sense if we use that one. So instead of using the improvement, which is obviously wrong, we use the town column. And we'll say that if project progress, if the town column contains rural, so rural, then what we are going to do is, I don't know if we all remember, but we will look up, the infrastructure cost and return the rural adjusted cost, right? So we will look up, so we bring the lookup value, right? And then if this, the lookup value will look for a column name, as we are seeing here, and then it will search, and then it will return a value. Okay. Sorry. That's it. Okay, so the lookup value will look up. Let me bring this down. We'll use this for the second one. Oh, sorry. So to bring it down, it's just Control and Enter, right? So lookup value. Let me start up again. So lookup value. Realize that we take the result column name, which in our case is the rural adjusted cost, okay, in the infrastructure cost table, okay. And then it will come and look up the column name that we want to use, right? So in this case, we'll use the improvement column. So it will look up in that column, right? So if it finds the value in the column that we want, it will return that one. If not, it will return another one. So oh no. So let me do it this way rather. Let me remove this bracket. I'm still dealing with the lookup value. Yeah. So the column name is let's use the improvement column. Good. And then it's either we find the improvement column from the infrastructure cost, as we are referencing. Okay. And then your return. Now let me just take time to explain this. What we are saying here is if project progress, as the table we are working here, the column town contains rural, then it should look up for the value in the infrastructure cost under the rural adjusted cost column, right? And then also look out for the improvement column in that same infrastructure table, right? And also the improvement column in the project progress table. If it meets this criteria, it will bring out the value, which is the cost associated with the improvement in the infrastructure cost and the project progress table. I don't know if this makes sense, right? So this is for one part. And then if not, we are dealing with the if. This is one part of the, what's the name? This is the condition we are giving the if. If this is true, or return all of this. But then if it is not true, it should return, if it is not a rural area, but an urban, oh, sorry, there should be a comma here. Should be, an urban area. Also, as we did for the first one, we use the same thing. And then the project progress, where are you? Improvements. Okay. I hope we really understand this. Now let me do on a layman view. Looking at the infrastructure cost here, we see that let me look at project progress again. So install a roof filter at 6,300 here. Let's go to infrastructure cost. Wherever we see install a roof filter at 6,300, this is for the rural. Okay. And then what's the name? Sorry. Anything aside, but there is one thing I really need to deal with here, because we copied, the is it this? Okay, maybe we've not gotten there. Let me just hold on. So wherever we see install arrow filter, it should return the value that we have in the infrastructure cost. So that is literally what we've done in here. Okay. So since this is currency, let me just change it. Be on the safer side. Good. Okay. So we are done with this. The next column we will need to create is basic water access. How will we know if we succeed in this project? So Dalila, when I hear you say when people have water, yes, but how do we measure that? So this is a little bit tricky. We can classify water sources according to UN requirements. So we have the safely managed with this definition, the basic. I don't know, maybe this rings a bell when we're doing the ones for the spreadsheet, water base N, water base R, water LMN, water unimproved, and those ones. These are something that relates to that one. So it makes a little bit of sense. In order for a water source to be classified as basic, it must satisfy these requirements. So rivers are not improved sources, so they are not included. So rivers are not improved, so they are not part of basic. Okay. Wells are improved only if they are clean. So all contaminated wells are excluded. Public taps are improved sources, but only if the queue time is less than 30 minutes. Broken infrastructure taps are not basic because they do not work. And all taps installed in homes across Maji Ndogo are at least basic. They are actually safely managed. Okay, so taps are basic, right? Once we know the water access level, we can estimate how many people's life will be improved by upgrading all of the water sources. So we need to first calculate where our access level is. And as we make repairs, we'll hopefully get the access number close to 100% access. This is our goal. So if we spend money on this project, we can measure how water access improves to make sure what we are doing is making a difference. So the idea is to calculate the number of clean wells, the number of public taps with queue times less than 30 minutes, and taps in homes. Then use that to calculate how many people have access to basic water. We could do that directly, but including all the conditional flow logic will complicate things a little too much. So we'll break it into 3 steps. So we'll classify sources as basic access or below basic access in a new column. Which table should we use? Okay, so for wells, we have to check if it is polluted from the well pollution table, which is just a lookup. But to get the queue time of a shared tap, we have to remember that shared taps were visited multiple times, so it is not as simple as fetching the queue time for each row because there are multiple entries for each source ID. Once we have that, we can sum up all the people using basic water sources, then divide by the total population. This is a little bit tricky. There are several ways to kill a cat. Some of these things, trying to go about this one is quite uneasy. So maybe we have to find another way. So it's saying that we should classify sources as basic access or below basic access in a new column. Okay. Now, which table should we use? I think we can still use the same table, or yes, this is where we have the improvement. Then let me see. For wells, we have to check if it is polluted from the well pollution table, which is just a lookup. So if we want to use that one, then we can use a lookup function that we used at the top here. And then, but to get to the queue time of a shared tap, we have to remember that shared taps were visited multiple times, so it's not as simple as fetching the queue time. Let's see how we can deal with that. So no. Hmm. So let's see queue composition. I doubt lucids. I doubt water source. Okay, maybe we can use the water source table to do that. Okay. How do we go about this? Okay. So we need to first calculate where our water access level is. As we make repairs, we will hopefully get that number close to 100%. This is our goal. So okay. So the idea is to calculate the number of clean wells, the number of public taps with queue times less than 30 minutes, and taps in homes, and then use that to calculate how many people have access to basic water. Okay, let's see how we can deal with that. Step 1 is complex, so let's break it down together a bit more. Step A, we have to calculate the average queue time for each source. This means we need to aggregate per source. Step B, we need to create a control flow logic to check wells and taps to classify them as basic or not. So step A, let's calculate the average queue time for each water source. First in the water source table. So water source, good. Remember, we want to aggregate queue times using the average for each source ID so that the average queue times are calculated for each source. So this is what I used. We'll replace the blank functions. So as usual, copy this, create a new column, and paste it. Now, let's try and break them down. Okay, so we are going to calculate, we have comments here, so at least this can guide us. So we'll calculate the average time in queue. So over here, this is what we are going to do. So we want to calculate the average. Hey, why isn't there? Okay, so the time in queue is in the visits table. Good. So time in queue for visits. Then we will filter. I guess we all understand why we are filtering, right? We are filtering because it's more like this is where the idea of join from SQL comes in. We want to filter this based on some related fields that we have. Okay, so for visits, let's see what is very common with visits and maybe water source. So visits, we can have source ID, and then let's see good, water source to also has source ID, right? So I think that will do. So once we are done with this, we can hit enter. Let's see how it goes. Okay, good. So now it means that for the average queue time, let's see how it looks like. Okay. There are some that are way above 30. That is for the tabs, right? Okay. So we are done with the average queue time. Okay, now we should have a new column with average queue time for each water source. Yes, we do. Step B, we classify each source as being basic or below basic. Okay, now this is also another, tricky thing we need to do. So let's copy the DAX and see how we can deal with it. So let me just align it. I want it to look a bit nicer. You are. Bom. Okay. Okay, so now let's try and break this down. Okay. So let's go back here. We need to classify each source as being basic or below basic. Okay. Now, what this DAX is trying to help us do is to classify it. And then we remember how we use the if function and the nested if, using if and then if in if and those ones. So we are bringing that same understanding here. With this, we are saying if for this, there are two conditions because of the end. Okay. I mean, there's a condition. So if one condition and another condition meets, it should return as basic access. If not, we move to the next one. Okay. So for this, the comment is it checks if the water source is a well and if it's clean. Okay. So if and now what we are going to do is type of water source is equal to well. If type of water source is equal to well, and where can we find the clean? Let's see. Where can we find results? Should be a comma here. And can we find results? Which of the tables? Water source, no, well pollution. Yeah, let me see. Well pollution. Wait. Uh, yeah. So, if type of water source is equal to well, and then we'll be using, the well pollution table. Let's use related. And with this related, I have to, take time and understand. But this is what I got when I tried seeking help from GPT. So the related column should be well pollution results. Good. If well pollution results is equal to clean. Good. Okay. If well pollution result is equal to clean. Okay, so this blank shouldn't be there. Yeah, because of the comma in here. Good. So if this is true, then basic access, right? Then we are done with the first part. Then the second one is if it checks if the water source is in the tap, there's a tap inside a home. So if type of water source equals taps in home. So if type of water source equals tap in home, then it should be a basic access. Okay. And then if not, let's go to the third one. This one checks if water source is shared tap and the average queue time is less than 30 minutes. Okay. So if type of water source is equal to shared tap, there's an end. Okay, so I think I can easily guess the reason why we use related here and why we are not going to use related here, because with this related, it wasn't coming from the same, table. That is maybe just trying to have a wild guess, right? But with this one, they are all going to come from the same table, I guess. So water side, type of water sources, shared tap, and average queue time, as we already have on the same table, is here, is less than 30. So average queue time is less than 30, right? If this is also, true, then we need basic access. If not, it should be below basic. Let me press enter to see if everything will be okay. There's an error here. Fail to resolve the name tapping error is not a valid table. Tap in home. if water source oh, quotation. That's simple. Okay, let's see. Okay, so a word. Right. So let me do a bit of cleaning. Okay. Everything is already here, but I just wanted to look a bit cleaner. That's why I'm taking out all these comments. Right. Sorry. I'm struggling from cold, so please bear me out. Right. So we are done with this part. Okay. Okay, now the final step is to create a new measure that calculates basic water access level as the number of people who have basic access to water divided by total number of people in Maji Ndogo. Remember to format this as percentage and show no decimals. This is one tricky one. I had to struggle a little bit here. So we have to create a new measure, okay, that calculates basic water access level as the number of people who have the basic access to water divided by the total number of people in Maji Ndogo. Okay. Let me I'll try to do something, you know, and see. Let me see what we can get here. Okay, so we are saying to calculate the basic water access level, that's a percentage. We can use number of people with basic water access over total number of people in Maji Ndogo times 100 to get for basic water access. Yeah, that's similarly the same thing that we have here. And then make sure you round each result. If you have the number of people with basic access 300 and total number of is 1,000. This is an example. Okay, right. Now let me, edit this. In Power BI. Let's see if we're going to get anything different than this. Okay, so we've gotten a DAX here as the basic water access level is divide people with basic water access over total population. This is going to be a bit tricky. Okay, let me come back here, see something. Okay, so practically, I think you can do it this way. Maybe it will help, right? So we'll do a calculation for basic access and then below basic. Okay, so let's create a new column here. Let me call it basic access. Okay, so what the basic access we are going to do, we are going to say that if the water access table or basic water access table we have here is equal to basic access, then you should give the number of people served. Okay, let me see. Okay. So let me do it. Let me do it this way. So if okay, so let me say if this one is equal to um basic access, then No, let me try something else. Let's see. Let me copy this code and see something. Hmm. Let me stop this. Let me delete. Okay. So the new measure. Let me see something. Okay. So basic water access. Let me take out the level. So we divide. This is also not a sum. Good. Okay. So I think then we'll create a column for people with basic access and then people with below basic access. I think that should be ideal. So let me just, do this and then here we go. So for basic access, we've a basic water access. So for basic water access, what we've done is that we've selected everything in here that only contains to basic, water access. And then let's do the same thing for below basic. So below basic water access. So this population out. Okay. And then we have below basic. Okay. So what I have done is because we with the okay. Let me just add it and then that's okay. So because with a calculation, we need to, calculate it based on the basic access level. Let's create these columns first and then create the measure based on the columns, right? So now that we are done, this is what we are going to do. Let's pick the basic access, right? Because we want to find the percentage. So basic water access population, this is what we're going to. So let me just create a new measure. You can equally use a quick measure. So we are going to say for the basic water access percentage, we'll sum basic water access percentage, this one here, and then we'll divide it by the entire population, right? So as we have here, this is what we are going to get, but I'll format it as a percentage, right? And then I don't want any decimals, right? Okay, so we are done with basic water access. Okay, now below basic 2, we need to calculate a measure for that. So for below basic, let's also create a new measure. Good. So for below basic, we also sum everything under below basic and multiply it by the total population. Okay, so we are done with that one also. I'm going to change it to percentage, then to a We said we shouldn't have any decimal places. Good. So come back here. Thank you, GPT. So and a last step, the basic access percentage tells us how many people have access to basic water service, but we might also need the percentage of people who don't have access to basic water too. If you think about this, we want that number to be 0 once we are all done, right? So now we have calculated two things. How much will all of these upgrade cost, and what will be the impact? I think we're ready to complete the report now. So now in the third block, we want to give President Naledi all of the financial information we will need to make decisions. She would want to understand at a cost the cost at a provincial level, and also understand what the different improvements will cost. Since President Aziza will have to send the local provinces some funds, we really have to give her numbers too. So we will create a budget table. The downside is that the table struggle. Okay, so for the calculation that we've done, let's just put them in here. Going back at the top here, we need to, high impact the cost, and then we'll get the money and blah, blah, blah. So maybe we can put, a card somewhere, and then for the visuals that we've created, put, something in there. So, how this look like. Okay, so one here, another one there, here and there. Yeah. Okay, so for this one, let's just put the where's the water source table? So this is the basic water access. Oh hey, no. Let me just check on this. Yeah, and we have it. Let me expand it a little bit. And then for the second one, we'll use the below basic. Should use the measure, sorry. Okay, so this is also for the below basic. Okay. We'll have to send the local provinces some fund. We really have to give her numbers too, so we'll create a budget table. The downside is that table struggles to show a part of the whole story. Let's visualize the budget too. So add budget table that have breakdown of cost per province and per improvement type. So okay, I think this one we can do it how we want it. So add budget table that have the breakdown of cost per province. So first off, table. So right. Hmm. It's the black wedding. right? So province and then per improvement type. Let's see. Maybe let me put improvement here. Nah, that's a lot. Let me use the aggregated improvement. Where did I put that one? Project progress. Good. So that one will do. So aggregated improvement. Why? Oh, that's a lot. So then let me just put the budgets there. So we're told budget table that have breakdown of cost per province and per improvement type. So let me put the budget improvement here. Okay, so this is the budget. Okay. Add a visual that will show the percentage of the budget allocated to each province. Doesn't fit into that block. Well, yeah, because if we should add the aggregated, yeah, it makes it quite longer, right? It makes it so it doesn't fit into the block. So instead of trying to cram all of the information into the third block, let's make a bookmark. We can make a button that will toggle between the province and improvement tables. This way, the user can choose which data to focus on. Okay, so this is where we create the two tables, right? So let me change this to province, and then the second one to, oh, let me make this budgets. Okay, then lot of space on here, so let me open it up. Column headers, let me bold in them. Okay. So there is this. Now let me make copy and paste. So what I'm going to do with this is to create the second table for the improvement, right? So for improvement, where are you? Okay, so these are the images. We will create two bookmarks, province and improvement. For the province bookmark, we will hide the improvement table, and for the improvement, we will hide the province table. We use the buttons to toggle between the two bookmarks. Use the selection and bookmarks pin to do. So remember to name the visuals, blah, blah, blah. This is what we are going to do, okay? So let's create the improvement table, right? Let me bring aggregated. Gentlemen, don't stress my life here. Okay. This is the aggregated improvement, right? But let's see. No. Let me see if I can actually use the improvement table. I hope it's not too long. Okay. Maybe this will do. So improvements. Okay. Then budget. Maybe we can add something else. Let's say let me see how it looked like here. So we have improvements, quantity and budget. And then we have province, population, quantity, and budget. So improvements, quantity, and budget. For quantity, it should be the count of these items here, right? So let me see. Let me put these improvements here. Change it to and then quantity. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. So improvements, quantity, budget, 2, 3, 5, 9. Good. We are on the same. We are on course. Right. So we are done with improvement. Let me bring this down and finish with the province one. So for province two, we have province population quantity budget. So province population quantity. Population we can find from location or no. Population number of people served. Good, yes. So number of people served will be population. And then population, let me see. Summarize, please. Good. So then province population quantity and budget. So quantity, let me put improvements there. Let me count. Okay. Quantity, as we did here. Then budget. Okay. So this is our table for province. And then for province and for improvements. Okay. So now let's create our bookmark. Okay, so in order to create a bookmark, first things first, let me open the bookmark field. Go and hide kakra. So I'll open the bookmark and then the selection. Okay. So the first bookmark should be we have improvement and we have province, I guess. So let me do province first. So for province, we want to hide the improvement table. Good. So we are done. Okay. Let me just, hey, my friend, hide improvement table for province. Then update. Good. So, and then let me add improvement. For that one, we will hide the province table. Then let's update. So if I should click on province, province should come. If I click on improvement, improvement should come. Good. We are done with this. But we are not done. We need to add these toggle items that we downloaded from here, buttons.zip. Since I have already downloaded it, let me just insert it. So image, toggle, improvement button, and then the other image, toggle, button, province. Okay. But then before I do this, let me also insert a button here, a blank button. I'm going to play along with this a little bit. So let me hide these two items for the time being. Let me format my button. This is how I'd want it to look like. So I don't want it to be too big. Okay, this should be okay. So let me round my corners a bit. Okay. Let me see. This should do. Right, I think this fits perfectly. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay. And then let's see. Style. I won't do anything to style. Action. What's up with action? No, nothing. Then let me go to general properties. This is okay. No title, effects. Yes, background is off. No header icons. I want to reduce the shape a little bit, or the thickness, or better still, even take it off. Um, general properties. Um, effects. Visual border. Good. So border should be off. Oh no. What did I get that one? Header icons. No. No alternative text. Oh, come on, don't do that. So position is okay. Pattern, I don't need to pad it up. Advanced option, no. Oh, gentlemen, it should be a minutes thing. Shape, rotation, style. There we have it. I don't need any border. Good. So it should be there as we're seeing it. Let me copy and paste again. Okay. No, you don't have to overlap. So let me push you in a little bit. And then let me also push you in a little bit. I think it should be okay this way. So this is for problems and this is for improvement, right? Okay. So now that I'm done with the buttons, let me work on the second one. Okay. Doing a little bit of adjustment. Interesting. Okay. So now I need to work on the selection bit. So for province, um I haven't linked it to anything yet. So the action is when I tap on it, it should bookmark, and the bookmark should be for province. Good. So let me see. Okay. So once I'm done with this uh, selection, this button should be hidden. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay. And then for improvement also, um, this button should be hidden. Then this is the right. No, this should be hidden. Okay. So this is the improvement one. Let me update it. Now let's see how it works. Good. Okay. So once we toggle improvement, hey, my friend, don't bring yourself up. Okay. Let me do one or two things here. So this is what I am going to do. I can combine this one. So still trying to iterate and get this to work. I don't understand. Okay. Maybe it's because of these bookmarks. Let me see. So for province, um, let me do this. For province, where is the second button? This one. Okay. So when province is here, I would want to take you back. Let me send what? 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 Okay. So it's at the back of this image now. So whenever I toggle province, you can see it here, right? Now let me go back to improvement and see. Okay. So let me see for province. So when I toggle province, I should have improvement here. Province. That would do that. So for progress, this is what we get for improvement. This is what we get. Oh, I think I didn't select one to no it. Yeah, data, the format or improvement. What's the action? Yes. Good. I think that was the reason why. So once we toggle improvement, that button should go off. Then this should come. Then when I toggle improvement, this should come. This should go. Okay. So I think it works now. Right. So I should toggle on this. It comes. And then A. You can't be doing, oh, I didn't update it. You can't be doing this to me. So province, once I click on province, this should be hidden. And this should show, right? So let's update province. And then I hit on this. Good. You don't have to stress me that way again. All right, so we are still on course. This thing is really delaying a little bit. So once we now click on province, it should switch. Click on province, it should switch. So yeah. Now here we are. So we've done this, and this is what it looks like. I think we didn't do this part. So this part was for us to find the budget for the various provinces. So let me just be snappy about it, and then let's do that one. We spent quite a lot of time. Bookmarks, we are done with you. Thank you. Selection, we're also done. So the next, easy. The next thing is the pie chart. Come down here. Okay. Then okay. So for this, we're using the budgets and the province. Okay. So budget will be the values. Then the province will be the legend. Let me take out the legend. I don't need you. And then over here, you can see just the amount and then the province name, right? So we have the amount. Let me take off title. And then for visual, the detail labels should be value and the category. And then we are done with that one, right? So we have this, as we can see, and then province, and then when we drill. So now we are coming to our placeholder for some high impact statistics. This is why we calculated the water access and no access measures. So if you think about it at this point, I think we went ahead to do this, right? Add a card with the total cost of upgrades. So we've not done that one yet. Let's do that one. So card. Let me just copy and paste this. Put it somewhere here. Make it quite vivid. Right. Then maybe drop it down a little bit. So that one is for total cost of upgrades, right? So budgeted improvement will be the total cost. Let me run it. Was it rounded? Yeah, it was rounded. So let me round it to 0. Okay. So we have 147 million, but over here it's shown as total budget. So let me do it the same. For the title, I'll give it total budget in USD. Right, beautifully. Center. Very good. Then population access to basic water is 34%. So with this also uh, so title population access to basic water. So percentage population access to basic water. I forgot the percentage. So percentage population access to basic water. We are done with this as well. Now the one thing that was quite challenging for me was this improvement bits. I think I really struggled with that one. So maybe I don't know if anyone had a way to deal with it. Kindly share, please, for that one in particular. I beg of you, because I really struggled, to be very honest. That is one part that really delayed me yesterday when I was doing this project. So if anyone knows of any means possible that it was done, kindly share, right? Thank you. So the improvement percentage, improvement bit, it was a percentage. Now, I think there was a calculation, and I honestly sort of couldn't get it because it's saying that and what percentage of people's life were improved. So the total cost and total improvement numbers are the key metrics we want to display. As I said, I don't know how that was done, right? So I'll indicate here as percentage of improvement. Is that one? So yeah, percentage improvement. So center. Okay. So with this one, well, it was labeled as green, so colors value. Let me change it to green. Please, as I said, if you have any means possible to make it work, please share, okay, so that we'll be able to learn from each and every one of us, right? So now I have all of this, as we can see here. Okay, we have our location type for relevant. We have also this. Let me take out the legend. Hey, okay. Right. So as we can see here, maybe one other thing, Maji Ndogo water national water survey result. Let me just copy this and paste it here. No time to waste. Okay. So Maji Ndogo, blah blah blah. Hey, stop playing, my friend. Okay. So this is what I also have here. So Maji Ndogo water national water survey results. Okay. So we are done with this part, right? Now we have built the national level report, but we still need to make one for each province. So use this example for Sokoto as guidance to make pages for each province. Once you made it for one, we can just duplicate it and then we go along, right? So let me name this again to national. Let me just duplicate this and name it Sokoto. So I'm just going to replicate this, right? There are some that I'm going to delete. There are some that I'll maintain. So um, I will delete this and this, as painful as it is. I'll maintain this. Um, Also, I'll delete this. This will go. This will also go. And this will also go. Right. Um, Maybe change this to Sokoto. Is what Sokoto report. Right. Then this will also go. Sell a bookmark. Okay. So now we have our bookmarks. Let me take you out of here for the moment. We'll also be here for the time being. Okay, you'll go. Let me expand you a little bit. So let me filter this page for province. Yes, sir. All right, so I'm just trying to damn it. I'm just trying to what's it called? Change the view for this a little bit. Right. So for this, we have this here. See? Then yeah, I was filtering something on the page. I'm going to put only province here. The only province should be Sokoto. Right. Let me take it out first. Right. So um the filters on the page is also going to be only for Sokoto. Yeah, as we can see here. Okay. So let me complete with this. I'm getting tired. Right. So you come down here. So for here we have two separate tables. So which one first? The aggregated improvement, and then so let me bring this down. Where's the other table? And maybe uh okay. Okay. And then for this one, okay, so we'll have these two tables on here. One will be shorter, one will be then short. Okay. And this one also be for this and this. Okay. So now that we've gotten a view of how we want to now let's work on the so this has already been sorted out because I have sorted it by the, you know, I've sorted it by the province name. So we already have this. So we are done with that one. Also, budgets have been sorted because it's what's the name? Sorted to this one. Now, what we need to work out here is the budget allocation. Now, this budget allocation has to do with the improvement and their amounts, right? So for this one, let me change it to the donut chart. So let me see. Let me put this in the details. Ah, no, 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 no. Not making any sense. Okay. So we'll have, where are you? Here will be the type of water source because we are aggregating everything by the type of water source. There you have it. Okay. So let's compare. So this is in value, but this is in percentage. So let's do a little bit of changes here. So you want, it was only percentage, I guess. Yes. So 0 0.95, 11 point, hey, why is 11? 49.3, 29 point. There's something here. Let me see. Let me see. Sum of budgeted. What's the issue here? Okay. Let me put aggregated one here and see. That isn't helping either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 here. Type of water source. Have we filtered any of them out? 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have tapping home here. Why is that? Let me see. Water source. Tapping home and tapping home broken. Let me see. Let me view the legend and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tapping home broken. But why is tapping home? Hold on. What happened to tapping home? Mhm. And then for this, let me just work on this and see something. Type of location. Okay. So this worked perfectly. Why is it that this we don't have the tapping home broken? I mean tapping home. Something is not right somewhere. But anyway, then for this table, we have the town population, count of improvement, budget, and cost per citizen. So, um, town name, population. So let me take this one out. So town name. Population is number of people served. Should be some. So we have raw. Am I actually using Sokoto? Something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up. Let me see. So we filter Sokoto out. 40,151. Exactly what I have here. And then the population is not 40 million. I have more than 40 million here. So I don't have the population on this part, right? Let me look at improvement. Oh, damn it. I took out my bookmarks. Oh, so province selection. What's that? How is that? Oh, so when I select province, this button should show. Oh, so when I select improvement, okay, this should show. Okay. Okay. Hmm. So the action bookmark, this should be for province. Okay. So let's see. All right. Then this behind the visual changes formatting. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's hidden. Improvement. Okay. Really underestimated this thing. So for province, for improvement, this is what happens. For province, this is what happens. Cool. Right. So we are back on track, guys. Um Improvement, it works. Province, it works. So now yes, Sokoto is 5 million here. But we have 4 million here. That's I don't understand. Roy Langa, Majengo, Kofi, Bahari, Marag, Sheshe, or whatever. But they don't add up. Okay. Number of people served. I'll do this now. So, number of people served. Mm, of course, because number of people served is the location. I mean, population. Okay, you let me deal with this. Let me deal with the second one and see. Aggregated improvement quantity budget. So this one will go, and then this will come here. So aggregated improvements quantity and budget. That adds up perfectly. So what really is the deal now? So I have this aggregated improvements, as we can see here, quantity and budget. Let me center all of these ones. Then easy options. Ah, right. Look by me. Quantity should be centered, and then right to total as well. Okay. So yeah, for column headers, Oh dear Lord. Okay. So let me find a way to deal with this. Cost per citizen. Let me deal with the cost per citizen. So it will be under infrastructure cost, right? Um, let's see here. Unit cost, adjusted cost. Let me see location, project progress. Um, okay. Mm. So let me just do a quick. Mm. Oh, so I'll do a quick measure here, and it's going to be um, is it a division, I guess? So project progress cost. Sorry. Mm, let me divide the budget by the population. So um, where is the budget? Infrastructure cost. No, no. Project progress budget. And then this is number of people served. Let's see how that looks like. Will it work? Uh, so where is that one? So let me check. No, check. I want to edit this thing. So select. So let's divide. The budgeted improved. And then people served. Seven. Okay. So mm, this is going to be, what's the name? Cost per citizen. Something definitely is not right. It's not right. It's not right. Something is fundamentally missing somewhere. I didn't get these figures from the first one that I did. So what's the problem? Definitely from this part. Definitely from this part. The Tapping home. Let's tapping home. Yeah. It's 9 o'clock. There are some inconsistencies in this thing, so guys, please bear me out. My initial one didn't give me this, and I really do not know what the issue is, right? But as we can see, this is how it looks like. Okay, so we have the budget allocation here. Okay, so we have budget allocation, and then this is rural slash urban spending. Then this is improvements. Then as usual, total budgets. Well, these aggregated parts, it works, but there is something not right here. Here, unless let me check something. Let me check something. Let me check from this part. Okay, maybe not this. Well, yeah, we don't have to be home broken. So what's the big deal? This cannot be. Come on, I need to check this out. I need to check this thing out. Let me check this thing out and see. Right. Hurry. Still four. Okay, then I guess that's it. Um, I tried to check from the actual data, and it looks like it is what it is. So I don't know honestly, because I felt initially when I worked on it, it wasn't the same, right? So maybe we can just go on and finish up with the rest. So once we are done with this, we can just do a duplicate of all of this. As we do, we change them according to the province names. Then we get a dashboard for each province, right? So let me duplicate this. So after Sokoto, maybe I'll change it from the filter section here. So from Sokoto, to Kilimani. Okay, wait, let me see something here. Let me check this population, 27.6. And then over here, we also have 27.6. So Koto is 577. But why is it that over here, it doesn't meet, it doesn't match up? Well, I'll find a way to debug this thing. So Kilimani. Something fundamentally not right. Not right. Why is that? Heh. So guys, honestly, there are some in this discrepancies going on, which is making this thing a bit not these are not the values you're supposed to get, right? Especially for the cost per citizen and then the population. These are not the values you're supposed to get. Okay. Something is not right fundamentally. So I'm just trying to see. Okay. Let me see the number of people saved. Sorry. Still doesn't change anything. Hmm? Number of people served. Ilimani. Uh, in the original one, I had 60 million, 6,584,000. But yeah, I'm having 4 million, which doesn't really add up, honestly. It doesn't add up. As well as the cost per citizen. Hmm. Playing around to see how this would work out. So let me filter this page. Uh, Okay, I get it. I think I get the reason why. Okay, okay. So for this, I think the I think this is very, very, very tricky. So I think the filter that I used, actually, I didn't use the right filter. I didn't use the right filter. And that is where the challenge is from, right? So there is province name from location, and there's also province from the project progress. And I've been using the project progress all this while. That was what created the challenge. Okay. So we are good. Yeah. As long as I know we are good. Okay. So now let's do the comparison here. We have 5,774. We have the same thing here, 5,603, 40 million, and then 6.95. So we are good to go. And then it will trickle down to, Kilimani as well. Let me change the filter part. I think I need to also use the province name because that is where all the issues are coming from. Right. So now I have Kilimani. And I'll also change this from Sokoto to Kilimani. Right. So we are done for Kilimani. Now I can duplicate this. I'll change this from Kilimani to Hawassa. Right. Then over here, let me bring province name here and select Hawassa. Yeah, easy, easy. So I'll change this to Hawassa. Yeah. So we are done with Hawassa. Let me change the name. Hawassa. Then from Hawassa, let's duplicate again. We'll change the province name to Amanzi. Okay. Amanzi. Then for this two, we'll change it to Amanzi. Then the last one, Akachi. Province name is Akachi. Akachiabo. Then I'll also change this one also to none of you, friend. Akachi. All right. So we are done with this part. Right. So let me play around the budget allocation and see something because for the type of water source, I don't know if let me check for visits. There's no water source here. Type of water source here, okay. Let me see if there is any other place that I can get type of water source. No. Queue composition, we don't have it here. Project progress. Source type. Okay, let me see. Source type. Hey, no, not this. Source type. Did it work? Ah, no, it didn't. So project progress table. Source type. We also have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me see. We don't find it from project progress. No, obviously, we're not going to find it from anywhere because visits doesn't have type of water source. Infrastructure costs the same thing. So well, then so these are the various dashboards for the various provinces. The next thing is for us to do the drill through. Okay, so we need to do a drill through. We struggled also with that a little bit. So for Sokoto here, visualization. Let me add a drill through here. So for location, I'll put this here. Then I'll select only Sokoto. So let me come back here and then let me see how it will look like. Sokoto. I'm getting blank. I keep getting this, ever since. I don't really know why that was the issue. Okay. So, but I really didn't do the drill through because I had these challenges whenever I try to drill through to a different page. It gives me this, issue. So I stopped over there. But with this, we can equally answer the questions. Okay. I think the only thing is that we'll have to move through them one after the other. So this is how Sokoto looks like. Ilimani also looks same. Let me do some changes here. So Sokoto. Uh, which one is this? Oh, trying to do something else. Okay, so it's really stressful and tiring, honestly. So please pardon me. Right. Let's see, let's see. Okay. So okay. So guys, yeah, I think this is where I will try and draw the curtains on this, oh no. So once I am done, please there's Sokoto here. I need to change the names at the top here as well to reflect the column. So Kilimani. Then this will be Awasa, Amanzi, then Akachi. You know what? So guys, this is quite lengthy, but you can skip through to the parts that you need assistance. There was also one part that I hammered on the improvement part. This part, dealing with it over here was quite hectic. I didn't tackle this. Okay, I'll try and see if I can do it. But for now, I wasn't able to do it. So guys, I like to draw the curtains down here and then share this with you. Kindly pardon me for not doing this on time. You could really see where the challenge was because at a point I need to take my time to go through it, to make sure that whatever issue has been corrected. It wasn't easy as I thought it would be. Honestly, I really underestimated this, but you know, with the zeal and the kind of grit that we've been taught through ALX, I've been able to maybe 90%, 95% done it with a little bit of struggle, with the exception of the improvement part at this point, right? So please take time and go through this and get the best out of it. Thank you so much.